Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, March the 9th, 2026. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome those in our audience this evening, as well as those who are joining us online. At this time, I'll call on our City Secretary, Ms. Jennifer Evans, to provide a roll call. Ms. Evans?
Here. Ms. Page?
Here.
Ms. Matlock?
Here.
Ms. Hart?
Here.
Mr. Metter?
Here.
We do have a full council this evening, and our invocation and pledge will be led by Councilmember Jay Davis. If everyone will please stand.
Dear Heavenly Father, I just come to you tonight just to thank you for the many blessings that you grant our area, and just be with those that protect us, and just be with us tonight as we make decisions for the citizens of Texarkana. And just thank you for the beautiful weather that we've had today. Just continue to bless our community. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated.
That cold air already blowing.
In reference to our upcoming city council meetings, our next meeting will be held on Monday, April the 13th, followed by Monday, May the 11th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Moving along to parks and recreation activities, a lot of events coming up during the next several weeks. March the 14th through the 15th, we'll have the NCS softball tournament at Grady T. Wallace Complex. Also on the 14th and 15th, the BAT 44 Pro Glove Tournament will be held at Swanger Complex. March the 19th through the 21st will be the BAT Henry Huggins Memorial Tournament at Swanger Baseball Complex. March the 21st, the Texarkana Soccer Association's opening day at Grady T. Wallace Soccer Complex. March the 23rd, Adult Softball opening day, once again at Grady T. Wallace Softball Complex. March the 26th, the BAT Baseball opening day at Swanger Baseball Complex. March the 28th through the 29th, the TD Sports Tournament at Swanger. April 4th and 5th, the Base Softball Tournament at Swanger. In April the 11th through the 12th, the USSSA Baseball Tournament at the Swanger Baseball Complex. For additional information about parks and recreation activities, you can log on to the city's website or call the city for more information. Upcoming events involving performances throughout the community, the Perot Theater upcoming shows. The Classical Arts Entertainment will present The Sleeping Beauty by international ballet stars. That event will be held on March the 27th at 7 p.m. The More Life Tour starring Randy Travis and the original Randy Travis Band will, with guest vocalist James Dupree, will be in concert on March the 28th at 7:30 p.m. And then the 49th Place Production presents the Ultimate Elvis Concert on April the 11th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets for these events can be made available at perottheater.org. At this time, move along to our open forum comments from the public. If there's anyone in the audience this evening who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. You will have up to 5 minutes to speak on any topic. And we also ask that you please complete one of these yellow sheets that you will find located in the rack there by the door, so that we will have a written record of your attendance this evening. And at this time, we'll move along with open forum comments from the public. The first person that signed a form to speak is, I think it's Sharonda Nash Hennard, okay. And she would like to address the city council in reference to city water. So, Ms. Nard, thank you for being here. If you don't mind, if you'll please state your name for the record, and you will have up to 5 minutes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. My name is Sharonda Nashnard. That's Nash-Nard. I'm here on the community of Wamba, Texas. We do know that it's a lot of new subdivisions that are growing around that community. The main concern is the amenities that some of these subdivisions have that Wamba, Texas community do not have, especially when it comes down to city water. We most of them all have well water. We would like to know what the future looks like, because we know it's a lot of commercial buildings that are coming down 559. We also have questions on what options if the city water was to come to Wamba, Texas. Do they have options of keeping the well water, or do they have to have city water, or do they have a choice? Not just only that, but is there any resources that people can come out for low income, even for the elderly, to even test the well waters? Because we do know that it's a lot of bacteria and nitrates and things from farms that are actually leaking into the Red River. We also want to know, what are the plans? Are more subdivisions coming throughout that way? We do know that the sign of Wamba, Texas was moved when one subdivision was being growing towards that way. The sign was actually placed back after some of the community members realized that it was missing, but they still get the same amenities as the city does. So the question is asking, what is the future for that community? And what options do they have? And especially when it comes to water, what resources are out there to test the wells that they have?
Okay.
Would anyone else like to speak? So if you can have someone to get in contact with me, especially about the resources, about the future plans. Is there any more subdivisions coming? Going to change it from Wamba, Texas to Texarkana, Texas, or is it still going to stay Wamba, Texas with the amenities of the city? Those are mainly most of the questions that we have. And I'll be more than happy to come back when you have your next hearing in April, so we can go further with more information about that community that is dear to a lot of people.
Okay. All right. Anything
Okay?
else?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hart, just will make just a couple, quick comments. We're really restrictive in providing information during comments from the public. That's primarily for our citizens to have their time to speak. But, the Wambi community is outside of the city limits of Texarkana, Texas, and I'm not aware of any plans to do any type of annexation or anything like that. It would kind of pretty much involve a voluntary annexation into the city. But we will certainly have city staff to visit with you further about this, to answer any questions that you have or the residents in the Wambi community. We'd be more than happy to answer your questions and provide you with additional information. Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Open forum, comments from the public is still open. I do have another form that was filled out by Mr. Jimmy Young, who would like to share with the council information about ICE activities in our area. Mr. Young, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record, and we're glad to have you this evening, sir.
Mayor and council, my name is Jimmy Young, and I had a question as to whether it would be possible for the council to get a briefing on ICE activities in our area. Hopefully, could be done in an open forum here where the public could also get an idea of what the extent of their activities and what they're doing in our area. And also a particular interest to myself and to several people I've spoken to is if there are any overtures on the part of ICE to develop a detention facility in our area. So that would be information that we would really like to know.
Okay. All right, Mr. Young, thank you. I'm not aware of any development activities about that particular activity, but we'll be more than happy to provide information to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Young. Thank you for being here. All right. This time, I would ask Mary G. Bruce to come forward, and she is going to address the council in reference to questions concerning the capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2017. Good evening, Ms. Bruce. If you'll please state your name for the record. We're glad to have
Mary Bruce, and I'm a fixture here.
Yes, ma'am.
And
We may get your own seat with a name tag on
yeah,
it.
we'll put a And I have some handouts for the council members.
Okay.
I submitted several years ago a petition to get the road at Cap Street. And what I'm giving to you is this projects plan. And most of these things are still happening. And it seems like they skipped over Cap Street Extension because I had some people to call me about a year ago and ask me about the Robinson Road reconstruction. They've done that. And there may be several other things that are still happening. My question to the council is this still in effect? And if it's not in effect, what happens to the money that was appropriated to do the extension for the street, Cap Street, to go around and come out on Finley Street? Now, we've acquired some other properties, and there were supposed to be other people here with me from the church and from the community. But, you know, I'm just curious, you know, several things on here are still ongoing. Skipped over Cap Street project. So is there a reason for that? Or has, you know, if it has been canceled, do you need another form? I have,
Oh, man, it was just blurry. We've got it. I apologize.
Thank you.
Couldn't
Ms.
read it.
Bruce, if you don't mind, could you please provide a copy to Jennifer, Ms. Evans, our city secretary, so we'll have a written copy for the record, please?
yeah. What they say is blurred.
Thank you.
It's blurred.
Mr. Whitson and Ms. Jaster were in effect, you know, so we
can't see
need
that. I can't see that.
not designated as a dead-end street. So, I'm just curious, if it has been canceled or whatever, what can I do? Do I need to do another petition or what?
Ms. Bruce, we'll have the city manager and the staff to follow up with you on the status of that.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, anything else?
Not really. I just appreciate the concern that the council members put into their council members and the help that they show. So,
Okay.
thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Bruce. Appreciate that very much. These are all the forms that I had filled out. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council? Okay, yes, sir. If you'll please come forward and bring that sheet with you, and I will recognize you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, and we have another one. Okay, so next to speak is Mr. Bobby Thomas. Were you going to leave, Mr. Thomas? Let me introduce you, sir. We have Mr. Bobby Thomas who would like to address the council in reference to trucks traveling down Finley Street and not obeying the signs.
No truck, right, no truck.
Okay, all right,
right.
Mr. Thomas, if you'll please, you'll have your 5 minutes. If you'll please state your name for the record, sir, and we're glad to have you with us.
I'm Bobby Thomas.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
What I'm here is because you got trucks that coming off that loop. There's no sign there that says no truck entering. And then you got trucks that violating that deal. And ain't nothing be done, but I wish you would go out there and look at the street I tore up out there. And they just redid that street right there on the corner of Finley. And before you get to Rawson Road, with no truck hit that deal, it sound like a bomb.
Okay, so Mr. Thomas, can you share with us, are you talking about like semi-trucks? Or
Right,
what type of
semi.
heavy trucks?
Semi truck.
Okay,
And see what it is? There's no stop, no truck in the sign right there where you get off the loop and come down to Finley. And those trucks that going over to deliver over there on Sterno. Well, see, they come down there because the GPS send them down through there. And that road, they just tearing that road up.
okay,
And down between Finley, that bridge, and the loop, that road is too narrow for a big truck to be traveling. If you meet a truck there, you're going to have to get one of the dual off the highway.
okay, okay. All right, we certainly want to thank you for bringing this to our attention, and we'll certainly follow up on that and see what can be done as far as regulating the traffic in that area.
Okay, because somebody this morning, I was out there, somebody gonna get killed right there because those trucks running too fast. You know, they gonna stop on a dime.
Yes, sir, that's true.
So,
Okay. There are probably small children in the area.
Right,
And
yeah.
bicycles and things
Right.
like that. So,
There is.
okay,
And
well,
then,
thank you.
then there's a route there for the people in the evening time to pick up those kids at that Head Start school over there.
Right, okay. All right, well, thank you, sir. Appreciate you bringing that to our attention and your being here this evening.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and I think I have another form here, if I can remember where I put it. Rena Boyd?
Renee.
Okay, yes, ma'am. If you'll please come forward and state your name for the record, please.
Good
evening, ma'am.
afternoon. My name is Renee Boyd,
Renee,
and
okay.
we're here on representation of Wamba. The sign for Wamba, Texas was established in 1819 by squatters. We're supposed to be 3 miles from Interstate 30, but the sign keeps being moved. So now we're looking at the Texarkana city limit sign is about a half mile from where Wamba is. The Texarkana sign keeps moving. So we're concerned that Texarkana city limits is trying to overtake Wamba, which is a city, not a community. Because Wamba had a post office, and it was closed in 1917. So we are a city, not a community. So we're just concerned that the more creeping that's done, because the signs were removed, because people said they didn't like what Wamba stood for. So me and Tracy Williams, we went and talked to the state. After we gave the general education of the state, the signs were put back. So now where the signs are, the city limit sign, Texarkana city limit sign, is almost on top of it. So that's our concern, that Texarkana city limits is creeping to Wamba to bring out the city water, to bring out these things. But I'm 60 years old, and I've been on well water for 60 years. So we're trying to maintain our little piece of acre out there to make sure that Texarkana and Wamba can get along. That's what our concerns are.
Well, Ms. Boyd, there are not any plans or any directives as far as the city annexing additional property and moving that way. The sign that you're relating to, as far as the city limit sign, that is along a state highway, which would be operated by TxDOT. So if there's any kind of signage that's being moved, it's not being done by the city. It's done by the state. And there would be no reason to move a sign farther to the north, because we haven't annexed any territory in several years. It's been several years since we've had an annexation in that particular area. So I don't know what's prompting the confusion as far as the sign movement and all of that, but we haven't done anything on behalf of the city to try to expand the city in that particular direction.
Well, the sign, Wamba was 3 miles from Interstate 30. Then it moved past Moore's Lane. Then it moved to the Easy Mart. Now it's down in the curve of the road. Okay, Texarkana city limit sign did not move until Texas A&M took over. We were Waterworks Lake for years. Texarkana wanted to change it, so they changed it to Bringo Lake. Now they're telling people, you got to watch out for the alligators. We knew they were there. Mm-hmm. The people in Texarkana didn't know they were there. Mm-hmm. We knew snakes were out there. So we're just trying to protect any angle that we have that's not overtaken.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. I appreciate your concern, but there's not any movement or activity on behalf of the city that would be infringing on that.
Okay, that's what I was just making sure, because I started watching, because I would go, because that's still my home.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would go down there, and I thought I was losing my mind, because I said the sign is gone. But Texarkana city limit sign is right to the right when you veer off to go to Kings Highway, the little split in the road. So Texarkana city limit sign has been moved. And I was told that it was moved because Texarkana police could not go to Waterworks Lake the back way, so that's why it was moved, so they could have jurisdiction.
I not familiar with that, ma'am. I don't know anything about that per se. But we will verify all of that. But like I said, there's not any type of initiative or movement to expand the city limits out that direction at this
Okay, that's
point.
what we were just making sure, because that's why a lot of us from Wamba are here to represent, to
Yes,
find
ma'am.
out what's going on, to be honest, because we were told that it would be a part of, we would be forced to get city water, we'd be forced to get, gas, the Arkla gas or whatever. We-
Summit? Mhm.
Yes, we have butane tanks.
Yes, ma'am.
We don't need street signs, we already know how to get home. We knew when the porch light went on, it was time for you to go home.
I don't know, Ms. Boyd, you got my attention though when you mentioned those snakes out there. That's what got my attention, so.
There are snakes out there, there's alligators out there.
Yes, ma'am.
But, because we just want to make sure that we are taken care of, because we don't need the street sign, we don't need because there's a, sign in the road going around that curve. We used to straighten that curve out at 70 miles an hour. We don't need blinking lights.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, I hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Boyd. Thank you for being here this evening. Anyone else want to address the council this evening? Going to have a tough act to follow Ms. Boyd there, so. Anyway, okay, all right, well, thank you all. For those who provided comments this evening, thank you very much. And for those of you here who were to listen and learn more, I appreciate your attendance. That's why we have city government. That's what it's all about. So thank you all for being here. At this time, move along to appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Do we have any appointments to boards, commissions, or committees this evening? Mr. Davis?
I've got a few for planning and zoning. This is going to be a new appointment effective March 27th, 2026 for Will Humphrey. And then I've got 3 reappointments to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Reappointment of James Bramlett, reappointment of Mike Ingram, and reappointment of Thomas Tucker. And those are for the Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Davis. Are there any others this evening? I do have one. It's in reference to the Zoning Board of Adjustment as well, to reappoint Mr. Rusty Phelps to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. If there aren't any others, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval for those names that have been presented. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Thompson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Metter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Those appointments have been confirmed. I want to thank these citizens for their continued support of our great city. At this time, move along to items for consideration. We do have 7 items this evening on the consent agenda. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on February the 9th, 2026. Resolution number 2026-027, authorizing a memorandum of understanding between Bowie County and the City of Texarkana, Texas Fire Department for placement of a tower and warning siren on county-owned property. Item number 3 is resolution number 2026-028, authorizing the city manager to execute a pickleball court development agreement with the Texarkana Pickleball Club. Item number 4, resolution number 2026-029, acknowledging the receipt of the Police Department's 2025 racial profiling report as statutorily required. Item number 5 is resolution number 2026-031, approving the fiscal year 2027 budget calendar. Item number 6, resolution number 2026-032, approving various technology purchases from Tier 4 Technologies of Texarkana, Texas, with budgeted funds in an amount not to exceed $485,000. Item 7, resolution number 2026-034, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Plummer Associates Incorporated of Fort Worth, Texas, for the State Line Corridor Field Investigation and Coordination Project in an amount not to exceed $391,035. City of Texarkana, Texas portion in an amount not to exceed $237,866.60, with budgeted funds in the TW 2024-2025 Bond Construction Fund in the amount of $237,866.60. Unless a council member would like to pull one or more items for further consideration, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it has been presented. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, I think she edged you out just a little bit, Mr. Davis. It's got a second by Councilmember Page. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The consent agenda has been approved. We do have two action items this evening. Item 1 is resolution number 2026-026, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Holistic Utility Solutions of Grapevine, Texas, for the non-revenue water reduction Phase 2 dashboard and analytics project in an amount not to exceed $427,500. City of Texarkana, Texas portion in an amount not to exceed $260,048.25, with budgeted funds in the fiscal year 2025-2026 TW Texas Capital Improvement Fund. And before we take action on the resolution, we have Mr. Gary Smith, Executive Director of TW, to provide additional information. Good evening, Gary.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. As you know, for the last several years, the city's been doing a massive hard effort to try to reduce our water loss, just to conserve money, be good stewards with ratepayers' money. And in 2024, we did Phase 1 with the same company. And Phase 1 was looking at unbilled, misbilled utility service that was going on, that might be going on with TW, and then the water loss. And we actually found, we increased our revenue by about $65,000 a year with items we found out were either misbilled or unbilled. And the second part of that was the water loss. And during a study, we discovered that our non-revenue water, the water loss that we don't get any money for, we're actually 36% above the state of Texas average of non-revenue water. So the two main contributing factors to that was aging water meters and our flushing. But with a construction project underway right now with automatic metering system is taking care of the aging water meters, and that's actually expected to be complete this summer. And so the flushing is what we're addressing now with this next phase, this Phase 2. And the Phase 2, we're going to install pressure sensors throughout our system, water sampling stations throughout the system for our residuals, water quality. We're going to meter all our auto flushers. We're going to take that, bring it in to a hydraulic model and incorporate that in with our current SCADA system and with AMI technology and leak detection technology that's being installed now. And we're going to put that into a dashboard. In that dashboard, we can use, once it's created, we can use it to monitor daily. We can look to see areas that possibly, hey, this is a possible place that we might have a water loss due to pressures, or we have a water loss due to pressure drops. Areas that we might be flushing too much, that we can look at this, but with all this data incorporated in one place, that we can look to see where areas that we might be flushing too much and reduce the amount of flushing. All this is in an effort to help reduce the non-revenue water. Probably didn't make that very good, but if any questions, I'll be glad to answer the best I can.
Any questions for Mr. Smith? Okay, thank you, Gary. Appreciate that background information. That's
Thank you.
Very helpful.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Any further questions by the council? If not, I will entertain a motion for the resolution. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thompson, a second by Councilmember Davis. This is a resolution, so it does not have a caption. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The resolution passes. Item number 2 is resolution number 2026-033, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Campco Incorporated of Texarkana, Arkansas for the water looping Phase 2, 24-inch water rail yard crossing project in an amount not to exceed $2,132,015.78. Funds are available in the Utilities 2025-2026 budget in the Texas Capital Improvement Fund at $2,132,015.78. Gary?
Mayor, council members, same thing. This is another project that's ongoing, trying to reduce our non-revenue water. The area on South State Line during the hot summer months and even in the spring and early fall is a high flushing area. So this project, through a 2011 master plan and continuing on in a master plan that was just approved last year, putting this 24-inch, it'll connect from West Broad Street. It'll go under the Texas Viaduct, under the railroad yard, and tie into South State Line. And this will help reduce the water quality, the age of the water. That's our problem down there. The age just gets old, which reduces the residual. And this will reduce the water age, thereby increasing the residuals under pressure and definitely reducing the amount of flushing for the project. It's going to install about 3,600 feet of 24-inch water line across this area. And not only will it help with the water quality, it's also going to help with the water pressures and the quantity of water in that area, south of state line. And I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Gary on this matter? Okay, thank you very much.
you.
Appreciate that
Yes,
very
sir.
much. Okay, this also pertains to a resolution, so is there a motion for approval? Motion by Councilmember Metter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Davis. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Resolution passes. Well, now we move along to first briefings. We do have, Council, we originally had 11 items for first briefing this evening. I just want to draw your attention to item number 11, which is the last item on the list. That item has been withdrawn, so we will not be considering that item, but we will be considering the first 10 items. The first 5 items are all directly related, and so Mr. Sean Maxey, Building Inspections, is going to provide information. So, Sean, I'm going to go ahead and read these 5 as a group, and then I will turn it over to you to brief the council on these 5 areas, sir. Okay? Item number 1 is ordinance number 2026-009, adopting the 2024 International Building Codes, including certain amendments, modifications, deletions, and appendix. Item number 2, ordinance number 2026-010, adopting the 2024 International Residential Code, including certain amendments, modifications, deletions, and appendices. Item number 3, ordinance number 2026-011, adopting the 2024 International Energy Conservation Code, including certain amendments, modifications, deletions, and appendices. Item number 4, ordinance number 2026-012, adopting the 2023 National Electrical Code, including certain amendments, modifications, deletions, and appendices. Item number 5, ordinance number 2026-013, adopting the 2024 International Plumbing Code, International Fuel Gas Code, and International Mechanical Code, including certain amendments, modifications, deletions, and appendices. All right, Sean, it's all yours, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're currently under the 2015 building codes, and we would like to adopt the 2024 building codes. Move us forward a couple slides. There's not a lot of difference in the new building codes. The biggest thing is the tornado lows that they've added to us. That's for commercial buildings only. Let's see here. Did add snow and ice loads to us. That has been a problem here lately. If you can move to the next slide. Here's the National Weather Service shows the amount of tornadoes we had just from January to May of last year. And you see quite a bit on there, so you can see why they've added the tornado loads to us. Next slide, please. They've included allowing laminated lumber in place of steel and dimensional lumber now, so that's helping us out a little bit on that. Next slide. Residential code, they've updated snow loads, wind loads. They've put some provisions in there for sleeping loss and limited the egress requirements. They removed the requirement for receptacles outlets in a kitchen island. Next slide. The electrical code, they have added GFI protection for all circuits from 120 volt to 250 volt. That's going to affect more restaurants than it is anything else. They've required surge protection devices for houses and multifamilies. And then they've improved the clarity of work, clearances and stuff for panels. Next slide, please. The plumbing code, they've added vacuum testing to their water and pressure testing. Next slide. They've also added a copper tracer along the building sewer lines, kind of like they have for the gas lines. It makes it easier for us to find them. Okay. Next slide. The mechanical code, it's added domestic ductless ranges are allowed in I-1 and I-2. That's going to help out tremendously for group homes that are trying to help special needs individuals that are trying to learn how to work independently on their own. Let's go to the next slide. Fuel gas code, they just rewritten everything on it as far as protection from fumes and gases. There's not a lot going on right there. Energy conservation code, they've put some more insulation requirements on us. They've updated stricter air leakage and improved U factors and efficiency in the HVAC and ductwork. Okay. Is there any questions on that?
Let me ask you one thing, Sean. Last week, Mayor Bunch and I had the opportunity to present a program just to kind of give a briefing of activities with our two cities to the Home Builders Association. Mm-hmm. And so, and I was there and knew that they would be interested in this type of information, so I kind of shared the same information that you've shared. And one builder there was basically stating that probably in order to be in compliance with the insulation requirements, that on new construction of, say, single-family homes, perhaps duplexes and things like that, that they'll probably have to go from 4-inch walls to 6-inch walls. Are you seeing that that may be something that may have to be done? Instead of using 2x4s where you're out, along the outside of the walls, you have to go to 2x6s. Are you aware of anything along those lines?
No. I know that they're proposing going to an R20 in the walls instead of R13.
So the actual insulation will be different?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how they can take care of that.
Okay.
What their plans are to do that. I'm sure there's multiple ways. I'm sure there's somebody that's got insulation that's rated for R20 that'll fit in a 2x4 wall.
Okay.
But, and we took this to Buildings and Standards Commission, and we took this in front of the Home Builders Association last year, and we didn't have any opposition to it at all.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's it as far as that goes.
Okay. Any questions for Sean referencing items 1 through 5? Because he also has item number 6.
Mayor, can I just add one
yes,
thing
David.
too? So we've coordinated with Texarkana College, and one of the things they're doing right now, they are teaching the 2024 code in their electrical, mechanical, building trades programs. And so one of the things that they offered was the ability to have some workshops with the public that go into more in-depth sort of training as we move from the 2015 codes to the 2024 codes. But they're already teaching students the 2024 codes and have been, I think, for some time.
Okay. That's very good. Okay, good. All right. Thank you, David. Okay, item number 6 is ordinance number 2026-023, amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 140, Zoning, Article 7, Supplemental Regulations, Sections 140-179 or through 179, and adding Section 140-183, Storage Shipping Containers, and Section 140-184, Shipping Container Homes and Tiny Homes, and amending Chapter 105, Buildings and Construction, Article 2, Division 3, Residential Code by adding Section 105-101, Construction with certain zoning regulations. Sean?
Okay. With the adoption of the 2024 building code, there are some appendixes with allowances for tiny homes. So what we're trying to propose there is some zoning on where tiny homes can go in a single family 3 with a planned development. Same thing with container homes. They've got to be underpinned, anchored. Mechanicals have to be covered. Porches have to be installed on them, and they have to have a roof and a skin around the container homes. Tiny homes, they're just a single family dwelling. It's got to be a built in place structure. It can't be on wheels, and it can't be what they call an RV park model, which is on wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Typically a tiny home is 399 square feet or less. So that kind of fills in the gap. Standard building practices are 400 feet and above. Tiny homes lets people go 399 and below, down to 100, somewhere in that area. So, anybody have any questions on those?
Tiny home is considered site built.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is there still quite a bit of interest in the tiny homes in this
Quite a
area?
bit, yes.
Okay.
I think it fills a need.
Okay, all right, very good. Any questions for Sean on this item? Okay, all right, very good. Thank you. Appreciate the information. Moving on to item number 7 is ordinance number 2026-030, amending Chapter 130 of the Code of Ordinances by adding Article 6, right-of-way work and master fee list to include right-of-way construction permit fee. And this will be briefed to us by Dusty Hensley. Good evening, Dusty.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This proposed ordinance will establish us some guidelines as far as construction permit right-of-way. Over the last few years, y'all seen an increase in like utility work and things in our right-of-way, and currently we don't have a process for it. One of the issues that we've faced on some of these projects is a lot of the repair and restoration and getting some of these companies to repair and clean up behind themselves, and currently we just don't have any enforcement tools in our ordinance that allows that. So what this ordinance does, it does give us some enforcement tools to force these people to kind of come back and do the work that they need to do. Attached in your packet, I have to give you like a brief summary of all the main points of this. We did send this out to local utilities companies for review and comment, and we did get some comments back, and those are attached. We've had a couple others reach out to us since the agenda was posted, and we have a meeting set up with a couple to kind of go over this as well. And we plan to update y'all at the next meeting on those meetings and what those come about. So with that, I'll open up any questions y'all may have.
Any questions for Dusty on this item?
So
Mr. Davis?
So there's actually going to be a permit that's required to get before the work is done? 'Cause I know I've had a couple of times where I've had residents call me because it wasn't cleaned up afterwards, and they were gone during the day, so they really didn't even know which utility came in and did it. And it took city staff a few extra days to figure out exactly who went and did the work. So, I mean, I think this would be good in a scenario like that to be able to get them out there a little bit quicker to leave it the way they found it.
Yeah, that's, right now when we get those calls and questions, a lot of times we just send it out to multiple utilities and try to figure out who it is. That's one of the things too, is gonna help us to track who's doing the work in our right of way. Would like to note that if they are in a utility easement, this would not have anything to do with that. This will only be in our city right of way.
Okay. All right. Any questions, any other questions for Dusty? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Moving along to item number 8, ordinance number 2026-035, granting a specific use permit to allow one additional use of a daycare on Lot 4, Block 9, Sherwood Edition, located at 2907 Sunset Road in Ward 4. Bobby Collins, owner, Kayla Gales, agent. To note, a 3/4 vote of the council is required to approve this request. I believe Planning and Zoning denied the request. And so Michelle Daniel will be briefing the council on this item as well as the next 2 items. So good evening, Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, Council. So as you said, this is a request for a specific use permit to allow a daycare at 2907 Sunset Road. The property is zoned Single Family 2. The future land use map has designated this property as suburban residential. The adjacent zoning is Single Family 2 to the north, south, east, and west, and the adjacent land usage are residences to the north, south, east, and west. A specific use permit is required to allow daycare use in this zoning district. Planning and Zoning did recommend for a denial due to the lack of parking spaces and drop-off area for the children, and also the comment was made that this is a lot of traffic. So I'll be happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
Any questions for Michelle on this item? Okay. We'll now move along. Items 9 and 10 are related, so I'm going to read both of those, and then Michelle will brief the council. Ordinance number 2026-036, rezoning on an approximate .62 acre tract of land, being Tract 65, J.W. Johnson, Headright Survey, A-308, located at 2610 Page Street in Ward 1, from Single Family 2 to Single Family 3. Sharita Young and Trishay. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Hoskins owners and Connie Young agent. Item 10 is ordinance number 2026-037, granting a specific use permit to allow the location of a HUD code manufactured home on an approximate .62 acre tract of land being tract 65, J.W. Johnson Headright Survey A-308, located at 2610 Page Street in Ward 1. Sharita Young and Trisha Hoskins owners and Connie Young agent. Michelle?
Request to rezone 2610 Page Street from Single Family 2 to Single Family 3, and for a specific use permit to allow a HUD code manufactured home at this address. The future land use map has designated this property as suburban residential. The adjacent zoning is Single Family 2 to the north, south, east, and west, and the adjacent land use is residential to the north, south, east, and west. Recommend approval of this request with the stipulations that a 2021 or newer HUD code manufactured home be allowed on the property, that the home be tied down, skirted, and underpinned, and that the home be used for dwelling purposes only. And also that all driveways, parking, building codes, and setbacks must meet the requirements of the city codes of Texarkana. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Michelle on this item? Or these items, excuse me? Okay, all right, thank you very much. All right. And once again, council, item 11 has been withdrawn, and I failed to mention earlier that all of these public hearing items will be involving public hearings at our next meeting on April the 13th. At this time, we'll move along to our public hearings. We do have one public hearing item this evening. It's ordinance number 2026-021, rezoning the east 50 feet by 66 feet of Lot 12, Block 17, Rochelle Heights, located 507 West 38th Street in Ward 3, from Single Family 2 to Two Family 2, Jamison Titus, owner. At this time, I declare the public hearing open on this item. If there's anyone who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Marcus Glassman.
Yes, sir.
We were just we were going through some paperwork and realized that the house that is, the property is not, legal description is not matching what is on the property. So we have a duplex on the property, but it's listed as single family. So planning and zoning went ahead and approved the request, and we're just looking to get that finalized.
Okay, so is the legal description correct or not correct?
Well, it's a duplex on the property, but it's reading single family.
Okay, I'll defer to Yes, Mr. Thompson?
The legal description is correct. It sounds like it's just the zoning that is not correct.
Yeah, the zoning is not correct.
The zoning's not
Yeah.
correct.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Mr. Lewis, any comments?
Make sure I understand. So calling it single family 2 is incorrect? The change to two family 2 is what you want?
Yes.
And that's what P and Z approved?
Yes.
That's what's teed up in front of the council. All right. So if we need to make a change here, it's just to the recital to the ordinance, and it's to section 1. But if I want to be extremely cautious here, give me a second to check the TexarkanaMaps.com, which is a great tool for council and for the public to use. We'll
Very much
double check
so.
the zoning real fast and then come back to this at the later part of the meeting.
Okay,
If you
that
don't mind,
sounds
just
good. We'll have,
temporarily stay any action and move on with the rest of the agenda while we check some maps.
Let's get this right.
okay, well, I was going to have Councilmember Thompson sing a solo while you're doing that, so.
I'll defer to your discretion and Mr. Thompson's discretion on that one, sir.
No, thank you.
Motion fails, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so,
Stand by, sir. We'll get that
okay,
corrected.
all right. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, sir. We'll do some quick research on that.
Move that fast, Mayor. If if you want to move on with the
Move
rest
on,
of it.
and then we'll come back to it? Okay, all right, that's fine. All right, so we'll come back to this public hearing item. At this time, move forward to the city manager's report. Dr. Orr?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So just a few updates to pass along to you tonight. First off, we received notice that the city has earned the Government Finance Officers Association Popular Annual Financial Reporting Award. This marks the first time that the city has received this award. We also received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting and the Distinguished Budget Award, completing the GFOA Triple Crown for the first time. More than just awards, I want to point out that this is benchmarking financial reporting practices to the very best in the nation. To provide further context, there's fewer than 300 local governments out of 90,000 nationwide that receive all three of GFOA's awards. That's 0.3%. So just want to congratulate Kristen and her team. This was a goal that she set several years ago now as part of our annual goal-setting process for her and her team for reaching this milestone. And there'll be more information released this summer on that award.
Congratulations, Kristen, and your staff. Yeah, very good.
News. Now here's not so good news. On our budget update, so we're beginning our FY27 budget process, and so our departments are starting to submit their individual budget requests in anticipation of the Budget Advisory Committee meetings with you all later this spring. As part of our long-range outlook, the city is implementing some phased reductions over the next 3 years, and we'll talk more about this as we get into the budget season. But I want to give you a little bit of a preview. So we're looking at a 3% reduction in October of 26, followed by an additional 2% in 27, and then 2% in 28. So it's a total reduction of 7% in 2029. I will tell you that this is, there's a couple of reasons for that, but before I get to that, I wanted to mention that part of, I've been here now 16, 17 years with the city, and prior to really Kristen's arrival and our budgeting software, we didn't have the ability to forecast or predict. We just sort of budgeted year to year. And so the good news is that we're able to forecast this budget reduction, so it's not all at once. It's kind of over time that we're able to do this to try to not impact city services as much as we can. But these adjustments are driven by a couple of things I want to just point out. One, Proposition 9. Proposition 9 was a constitutional amendment that passed by the voters in November of 2025. This exempted up to $125,000 of market value for tangible personal property. And so that was a major increase from the previous amount for that. Also, and we've talked about this during the budget cycle, but the 3.5% cap on revenue, annual property tax growth is another contributing factor, and then also operational costs that we talked about last year. In the last several years, our healthcare costs continue to rise at the city. And so, again, we have this process established through our budget process. Similar reductions and cost measures will go to our departments as well as our funding partners. So these are external agencies. And we've sent letters to each of those boards, some of which you all serve on those boards throughout the city. So we'll be working with our funding partners to ensure that we maintain core services and protect our long-term financial stability. So again, we'll talk more about this as we get into budget, but I wanted to give you all kind of a heads up on where we're headed.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, all right, thank you, David. We'll now move along to administrative comments. Any comments this evening from the city council? No comments, okay. Any other additional comments, David, from city staff?
No additional comments, Mayor.
Okay, all right. Mr. Lewis, status report?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Again, after reviewing our city information, which we can find at texarkanamaps.com, and there's a specific dedicated zoning map. Our zoning maps show this property as currently single-family 2. If that is incorrect with respect to the ordinance form does state correctly what P&Z is recommending, that we change that zoning to two-family 2. Correct, sir? So even if it is a typo, even if it is incorrect, council action on this ordinance will make that a moot point. So I would recommend the council proceed with acting on the ordinance.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Lewis. Appreciate your guidance on this matter. Anything else you want to share with the council, sir? Okay, all right. Thank you for your time and bringing that to our attention. We appreciate that. Public hearing is still open on this item. Since we've gone back to this item, is there anyone else who in the if there's anyone else in the audience who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward on this matter. Okay, at this time, we'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Page. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Hart. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas. Ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning on the east 50 feet by 66 feet of Lot 12, Block 17, Rochelle Heights, located at 507 West 38th Street in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from single-family 2 to two-family 2, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Now, the motion carries unanimously. At this time, the City Council is going to be going into closed session. It will convene the closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Government Code. Section 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.072, real property, and 551.087, economic development negotiations. And do I have a sheet for the closed session as far as, okay. For everyone here and those watching on live stream, the council does not anticipate taking any action after closed session other than reconvening in open session and adjourning the meeting. And at this time, we will end the live stream. So once again, thank you all very much for joining us this evening, and certainly hope you have a great rest of your evening. Thank you.